Hayo hitapatapi. Hayo nukspumokinan. Deitam satupinan. Tsikkayiskatsis. Nuhkas pummo saamuksaki ekkayiskatsiks. Äsawa meuppiks. Sukaapi kutisau akagakaitamisia. Aksawanu-kaapi. Manisteitamisia. Kistuan nätsitapi puutsiipina netukamanis. Our Creator, we ask that you will protect our way of entertainment. Help these young people as they do changing onto a horse in their racing. Protect them. Just let them enjoy that what they do, and that others may follow.
On the outside, showing Hart's back of that. At the inside, check and raise. And they're midway round the turn with just over a quarter mile to go. Weekend Wizard on the lead. Here comes Sippin' Fire, making a big move on the outside.
And in 3, 2, Micah, they are up.
And time for Handicapper's Corner here at Emerald Downs on this Sunday. The Muckleshoot Gold Cup over Friday and Saturday. And today we'll step up the excitement even more with 2 consolation races and the championship heat of the Muckleshoot Gold Cup.
I'd like to thank the Muckleshoot tribe along with Emerald Downs staff for bringing it back. You know, we had some great teams here. You mentioned the past winners of Carlson Relay, Star School.
Yeah, and Carlson, of course, has made the finals.
Sitting behind me, ladies and gentlemen, is truly the stars as these guys put their heart and effort into winning this championship. The winner of today's event is going to take home $10,000 in our championship Sunday here at Emerald Downs.
This is your 10-minute call for race 9. This is your 10-minute call for race number 9.
Our ancestors were pretty tough, strong people, you know. The ones that passed had to fight and diseases and starvations of winters and just really tough things. The ones that survived are the ones that we came out of. So we're really lucky that we're even here, because if they would have all died, we wouldn't have been sitting here.
Carlson Relay, riding behind them.
It means a lot when you're out there, because you're representing where you come from and who you are. I mean, you take a lot of pride in that when you step out on that racetrack.
This is what we've been waiting for all weekend long, ladies and gentlemen. Here come the Warriors.
As they're off and running, we're looking at River Road, Carlson, Young Money, Omak Express, Star School, Abrahamson, Little Badger as they make the way. Carlson has an inside rail. That's Chazz Racine being challenged by Omak Express. That's Tyler Peasley as they make their way. Abrahamson is right there. There's Mountain River. Who's it going to be as we come to that first exchange? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best of the best. The 2018 Muckleshoot Gold Cup is coming at you now.
Here comes Carlson Relay. They've been running out front the whole time, ladies and gentlemen. They're being chased down by the pack. Here we come into the TP turn, down the home fire stretch. Scotty Abrahamson is right there. He's making a move. They're going to come flying into the boxes, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for the exchanges right here. Here we go. There's Young Money as they made it in. River Road, Carlson, Scotty Abrahamson with the break. 1, 2, 3. Watch them go.
As we go in for our final exchange, there's Scotty Abrahamson. There's Chazz Racine from Carlson and River Road as the lead has changed back again. As we change leads 5 times, it's River Road. There's Carlson. 3 horses in the game, ladies and gentlemen. Who's it going to be?
Here they come down the TP turn. We're 3 wide. The Warriors are running. Abrahamson, Carlson, River Road Relay. Here they come. Scotty Abrahamson's got him out front. There's Carlson. Chazz Racine is pushing it. He's asking, no. We do have an inquiry. We have judges that watch every single box. We have video replay. If it affected the outcome of the race, you are going to be in trouble, but we're going to have to see what the judges have to say.
The other team was coming, to me, it looked like he was looking this way to see where he was. He didn't even look at us.
Okay, there's 9 of you, so there shouldn't be a tie vote.
No change.
Okay, they're going to hold it up the way it is.
Chazz, they're going to explain to you what happened. Go ahead, you guys. Explain.
Ooh, that's bull. Cut me off.
He cut you off, but you still had room to get over before that incident happened where the first bump came. Your direction of his horse changed and pushed him further into the rail. And that's where when you tried to pull up, that's where
I never did try to pull up.
Well, when you tried to get around him or something, that's where you clipped right there.
Right there, that's what he did. He turned me over. But if you guys want to keep it that way, it's all right, I guess, you know. That's your decision, not mine.
Yeah.
But I clearly see, you guys seen it right there. He cut me off and turned me over. He can have it if he wants it.
I see what I see on TV, and I see what this guy's saying. Because this guy could have got killed, and that horse could have got
He seen me. I told him I'm
and
coming.
We're responsible. We're responsible for the safety of this, guys. Otherwise, there's no sense with this. You know.
Hey, Rob,
He's seen it.
We get
He
reporting
knew it.
online.
He talked to Tyler Pease.
Well,
I walked
ladies
back
and
with
gentlemen,
him. He
it's
said,
official. The 2018 Muckleshoot Gold Cup goes to Abrahamson. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winning rider, Scotty Abrahamson, and I would like to present to you at this time our check for $10,000 here at the Muckleshoot Gold Cup.
horses and racing started just being with my family, being raised into it. They already had it. Long history, my dad and his family.
In the beige is the Irvin Carlson team of Browning. Irvin Carlson from a racehorse family, son of late Joe Carlson. The flag is up, and there they go.
Well, back in the 80s when we first started relay, it was pretty wild. It was pretty Western. You know, there was no trained horses for it. Teams didn't train. They just, whatever they had, they put together. And, saddle horses, whatever kind of horse they had, they used. And some of them would come out of there, you know, bucking and, you know, just didn't really take off down the track. And so it created a lot of spills and thrills, and of course that's what the crowd likes anyway.
You'll be off to a good start. Frosty Hall and look out, boys. Things getting a little western out there. I told you it can happen.
It never really clicked for us until my boys were older.
This is the Carlson Little Chief team getting ready, getting their horses all groomed up and painted and ready to go.
Come on, Irv!
You know what I tell my boys, it's when you earn something and it's worth more to you. You know, it's not just like something that came easy and given to you or whatever, but just like with relay, all these years, I mean, we've worked hard at it. I mean, we struggled a lot of years, you know, with not the best horses, not the best riders. We didn't win a lot of championships, you know, it was tough. But we done it because we enjoyed it. I mean, because we were with horses. As the years have progressed, is that the athleticism not only of the horse, but of your riders. It shows.
Come on, Chazz!
The athleticism and actually the courage of the guy riding. Adrenaline rush that it gives you right in the heat of the competition. It's something that I think has always been the way of our people too, is that competing against each other. If you work and you're at the top and you're doing good, but you worked hard for it, then it's worth it too. It means more to you.
This is Chazz Racine from the Blackfeet Nation.
Of course, with our team and our team members, I have my sons along with me, and of course our riders, my son Chazz, and either whether they're exchange or mugging or whatever, there's Tony, and Tony's the oldest of the boys, and then Lynn, who's the youngest of my boys. And then last year with us was my nephew, Slew, as we call him. I gave him that name, Slew.
Indian Relayers, bring them on, boys, bring them on. Oh yeah, bring them on. We got some Perry Mitchells in the run.
Having family that are doing it every evening, day in and day out, practicing, and knowing all of their horses, and having a rider who knows all of those horses too, gives you success.
Number 6 all the way from Brown in Montana, Chazz Racine and the Carlson team. All right, now we're on. Moving to the lead right there. Everybody is fresh, but there's a bunch of them stacked up. Carlson team is there as well.
Before the white man was here on this continent, it was tribes, and you had tribal warfare, and you all against each other, but then you also had competition. You know, show that you're the best horseman and you have the best horses.
And the Carlson team, it all depends on the switch.
When you get out there in this new day and age, it's warfare. No matter who you are, we're there to beat you.
Bring them home. Carlson and Kobe. It'll be the Carlson team with the Kobe team in second. Maybe not. We're waiting for the unofficial and the official fight.
He's a real good horseman, you know, and they're all good horsemen. But Chazz has a real knack for it, where he puts a good handle on them and just kind of transform them into what we need.
And your winner, ladies and gentlemen, they lost what they got here. The Carlson team and Chazz Racine.
What's relay? You get to be native because nobody else does it. It's Indian Relay. Just the natives do it. Makes you feel good to do it. Being out there representing who you are and where you're from.
I got it on record. Okay, come on, Chazz. Ride him, Chazz! Ride him, Chazz! Woo!
Rodeo was my #1 thing a long time ago.
What are you saying, Robert?
2-hole, baby. Got one more tough bronc rider to go. I'll lead the bull ride.
He just couldn't get a job this year. Things have changed.
You can only go so far in it. If you're gonna do it, you gotta keep doing it. And with me, with my injuries, it didn't work out as good. With horse racing and relay, it's family and I can still do it, and I think it's a little funner nowadays the way it's going for us. Right now it's at a pretty good height, and I like to see that, and I hope it keeps going because you don't want to see it die out and vanish. Then that just dies just like everything else in the culture, you know, that has.
Say something.
Is it ready to go yet, Jace?
Okay. in the summer, is this kind of like make a living off a relay?
Tried to.
Would you rather just relay and not work?
Yeah, it would be nice, but gotta have a job. A real job. Start your truck.
Told me to comb my hair. You bring in my coffee cup?
Yeah.
Told you to comb it like that.
We'll go down and feed them horses, so.
Yeah, these guys will be ready for you. I think that's his comfort zone of, you know, when having a bad day, you'll find him in the corral, or, you know, you'll find him in the barn, find him in the field. You know, if he has a good day, he's on a horse, or he's always thinking of what he can do better with his horses. And he goes, pretty soon you see him down at the corral and he's doing that with his horses, you know. I think he just has his own little natural talent of horsemanship.
Whatever you do, don't hit that line.
You're down in that ditch and it's just, you know, muddy, and you're just thinking in your mind, geez, there's something better out there, you know, and you're wishing it was nice and warm out and you're on the track and running races and being somewhere where it's fun and with your whole family, you know, and that's what I was always thinking in my mind, you know, and being at the workplace.
I talked with Chazz about a few things, you know, and he was telling me about he had a wreck there in Washington, the Emerald Downs. Yeah, I told him, well, these are some of the things. You gotta really look at who you are. Sometimes you just gotta back off and reevaluate. I explained to him, sometimes, you know, we have to slow down and kind of look at where we're at. You know, at that moment, be thankful who we are, where we come from, what we have.
Yeah, you know. Ooh, now, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby girl. Ooh, baby girl. Ooh, baby girl. Ooh, baby girl. Yeehaw, yeehaw. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna hurt you. Out here with the horse, you can trust them more than you can trust people. I mean, it's all a trust thing, you know, a bond. Just like relay, you know, you're coming up and jumping on him, you know, I don't want him to kick me, you know, because you're running up to him, he could just turn and kick you. So you got to get that trust of him relaxing and waiting for you. Ooh, there it is, look at that. It's a big thing, you know, having a bond with that horse, because they'll do anything for you if you ask them right, you know.
He said, you know, I'm tired of working and busting my ass at that construction. I told him, well, I think you're making a wrong move. I think you need to work, you know. And he He said, well, I can make ends meet doing different things. He wanted to focus on training the relay horses and training horses in general, because that's his true love. That's his first love, you know. Nobody wants to just work, you know. At least most of the people I know don't just want to plug it away every day and just work, you know. You want to enjoy your life. And that's what he wanted to do. He wanted just to enjoy his life.
When he goes for something, he always wants to be the best, and I supported him taking off the entire year of work to just be with the horses. You know, most be worried about everything else. So I was like, you know, okay, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you'll do.
Me and my brother Chazz was hunting up by Chief Mountain. Every day rode from sunup to sundown. I got back home with, you know, having discomfort, was sore, and went to work and didn't think anything about it. 4 or 5 days I think I worked, and it just kept getting worse and worse. So I finally got to the point where I had to go to the hospital. Got a ultrasound, and they must have seen something there, so they called me in for another day to see a specialist. He didn't tell me anything, so sitting there weighing heavy on my mind, because I mean they told me the possibilities what it could be. Got called back in, and you know, got told that I had cancer. Prayed to God and, you know, let him know that I needed to be here for my kids, you know. I had a lot of life left to live, and, you know, I got a lot of responsibility here left on earth, you know, to be able to go this early in my life, you know, being 28 years old.
It was devastating to me. You know, so one morning I got up from here to go get on a plane and head to D.C. I was at a reception that evening, and I was to talk at this reception. So I did get a call, and it was from Irvin Lynn. Surprisingly, Irvin Lynn was being real strong about it. And he said, "Dad, we'll get through this," you know. Holy man, it was like I walked to the bathroom and just completely break down, you know. I prayed to God, and I told him that my boy's a young man. If anybody's got to go, it's me, not him. So, my prayer.
Let him settle down. Don't blame you. You know, I'm moving too when they come at me. Yeah. Okay, let's go slow.
I can't do it. Oh, I just can't. Sorry.
Break you a little bit to that pull. Yeah. No, he was fucking dog tired. He could barely turn a circle. Fuck, man, that shit you got going, once you get healed, or once you're... What do they do now? How many weeks do they say not to stretch around?
They go up for 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Oh, yeah, because get a hernia or some shit.
So as soon as you start getting that medication, fuck. A lot of them people say it drags them down, but that's way some of them do. They fucking still, if they fight it, they get up and exercise and shit really hard to get around. I mean, like the people that beat it, you ever hear them?
Yeah.
Fuck, they fucking get in shape. They don't just smoke weed. It was pretty eye-opener knowing that he had cancer. I knew he would get through it just because he was young and we knew where it was at. I knew it was he could fight it and beat it. And as far as that, our prayer got stronger. That's what you get back to when something like that it takes, I guess, to get back to your prayer.
It was like there was a big void, you know. And even Chazz felt it too, you know. He told me one day, he said, geez, it feels like I don't even have a team no more, you know. And I told her and Lynn, I said, if you feel like you're being left out of something, you know, I'll quit in a heartbeat, you know, because family's more important than this relay team. And he said, I would rather see you guys go on. That way when I'm healing up, I have something to look forward to and I have something to be a part of. So we carried on.
In 1949, I rode horseback almost every day in the wintertime. I was helping an individual taking care of some cows throughout the winter. It used to be cold, but yet I didn't mind it. You know? It was just like it was part of my life. I enjoyed it, no matter how cold it was. There was a way that there was warmth, you know. There was a way to overcome those things.
My times of breaking horses was shit the old Western way, you know. Choke them down, put that halter on, snub them up, and flag them out for 2 days. But that was the old ways. I mean, shit, that's the old John Wayne days, you know. You watch that movie Cowboys, that's what they're doing, choking that horse down and throwing your tack on, and away you go. You beat up a lot of horses doing it that way. So, with this way that me and Chazz had going on, or, you know, I was following and watching Chazz, it takes more time, but at the end of the day, your horse is going to trust and respect you more. After all, this past January, and, you know, I was on a self-destruct. I was kind of going through some family issues with my kids' mom, and I was never a druggie, but I was an alcoholic, probably still am, just, you know, able to handle and control it. But at that point, I was drinking every day, you know, and Chazz, he'd stop by, check on me, you know, come out me with my horses. So I would, but then when I could feel it myself, when I'd get around them horses, you know, they sense it on me. Probably because, you know, he knew I was being drunk, and
And so as time carried on, and then I finally hit it, I was like, wow, shit, I'm done boozing for a while. And then that's when we start hitting that All Chiefs barn in Browning.
Today I came to the Chiefs barn because it's good for the horses. I'm bringing them in here. This is a place where we can get in and out of the weather. We've got good surface. We can ride some big circles and get these relay horses in shape. If you train your horse right and do so much work with him, you could ride him with no bridle and no saddle and still have the control. It's a connection. You gotta believe in it, and you learn to get better with it each and every day. Because if you have the feeling in you, it makes it stronger and stronger. So say you can almost talk to that horse with your mind, and he'll kind of understand you. Because in the horse world, that's how horses talk when they're in the fields in groups. They may winter around a little bit, but they talk through the mind and body language. Okay, well then, you gotta think like that too. You gotta speak almost to your mind and your body language. When you're showing them different stuff when you're in that corral. Corn, wrap, then back down.
Lay down. Come on. There you go. There you go. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy.
Go Gus McCrae and that. You guys watch Lonesome Dove, huh?
All you do is this. Cover their ear. You cover your eye like that, Sean. They're dead. You can do whatever you want, you know? You can just touch him all over.
Yeah.
See that? He's a horse. He's down below you.
Okay, so now, Chazz, we want to sit him up so I can position to get on.
Yep, so let me see it.
Okay.
Step over on him. Start down and then just get up.
Hey, he helped reground me. Chazz did, along with my horses. Because if he went to stop by, I'd have probably, I wouldn't be here right now.
Organize, boys! 10,000!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we honor our First Nation.
Chazz, and I see a lot of years left in him, yet to riding. But now, the grandson, Tony's boy, Cody, is stepping up to ride. So that's going to continue, I don't think we'll lose a step, when Chazz is ready to not ride anymore, that Cody's going to be there and just step right in.
Cody was ready. He was ready to ride. There's no keeping him back. And Chazz, he wasn't quite ready to retire, so we decided, we'll have two teams. And I said, why don't we just go back? We used to use two medicine, and it's where we're from, so we'll just be two medicine. Chazz could just keep they'll be the Carlson Relay, and then we'll jump back and forth.
Go fuck your got those big good basketball hops. Oh, let's go off too.
I know. Everybody goes off too. Besides Chazz, because he got those long legs.
I always wanted to be a relay rider. Looked up to my uncle ever since I was small. Ever since I've seen our team grow. Because we weren't always at where we are now. We were kind of started at the bottom, but still looked up to my uncle as one of the top riders. And now I'm here with him. I get to ride against him. It's a dream come true.
they didn't have relay, you know, they don't have anything else, and you see them get caught up in drinking and you know, the badder things, the drugs, you know. Nowadays a lot of people on the meth. It just tears a person down. It totally changes a person, you know, and it's nothing but bad that comes out of it. So, you know, relay is really a positive thing, and, you know, it's that connection with the horse, the spirituality of it, you know, it's therapy for all of us. When I was 19, I guess, I was drinking a lot, hanging out with friends, you know, and kind of got lost, I guess. Probably out till, you know, 2, 3 in the morning, probably even 4. I don't really remember exactly, you know, the time, but when you're out late like that, nothing good happens or follows you around, you know, you start tracking the negative, you know. But I got home and went to bed, and next thing, you know, I had that aura, that white light in my dream. You know, I hadn't really woken up and opened my eyes. It was, you know, I was still sleeping, and the light was so bright that I couldn't see him. I could see his outline, or, you know, but I felt his energy strong, you know. Basically, him, you know, he didn't even have to say why he was there, you know. I just felt, and I knew, you know, he was guiding me towards the light, you know, into a better path. And before I even got to say any words, you know, I opened my eyes and woke up. Later on, you know, on that day, my brother Tony came and picked me up. You know, we started doing the Indian Relay, and from there I never looked back. I asked my mom about it later on, and, you know, she had told me that the name had connection to my family. It was one of my ancestors that had came to me, and, you know, without even saying words, he changed my life.
Io Apostatuki Spenmokanon, Naka Itsamon. Creator, be with us in this day. Teach us to be humble, teach us to be kind, teach us to respect and love one another. You don't want me to. What? Yeah, you do it. Smudge up. Watch over my baby, keep him safe. Hey. Some people just have one way of religion. And then I wasn't brought up the native, you know, through the native religion. But although my grandmother had a lot of the native ways, you know, then when I married Irvin, we attended a lot of the native ceremonies. And then I was kind of confused a little bit, and should I believe in this, But I've come to an understanding that I don't have to believe in either one, because we're all praying to God. And I always say God, creator, because Indian way you say creator.
I think you're going to get wild now, are you? Yeah.
My daughter was 18 when she had Chazz. And she lived with us at home.
My parents were really strict growing up. They didn't like Joe Racine. That's Chazz's dad. He was a bad boy, I guess, but they sent me to Seattle to go to school to get away from him. And then I got pregnant by him, and when Chazz was born, he named him. I went to Atlanta, and I don't think I've ever talked to Joe again. And I haven't, no. I left because I thought maybe I'd do something else, and I did. I went there, I got married, my life was good. I lived there for like 14 years. Chazz came and lived with us for a while, but it wasn't for him. He was lonesome for Browning. He was lonesome for being a cowboy.
This is a wives' tale. If you take a baby, you have one. Well, we took Chazz and then we had a baby. So I think it's true. But Lynn was kind of our surprise baby. Him and Tony are 14 years apart. We had Chazz and they were close in age, so they grew up really close.
Biscuit root like a pie crust and flat like cakes. It tastes a bit like stale biscuit and is quite enjoyable.
He was 3 years in age difference, and we were just like that growing up. He was my big brother, you know. I wanted to do what he did, you know, as his little tail. From the time school was out during the summer, we was with each other every day. We'll be horseback or swimming, and you know, my happy place and my happy memories are at, you know, the Mission where I grew up as a kid. When I moved into this house and this ranch on a hill here between Badger and Medicine, those were tougher times because that's when my parents were splitting up. With our parents having their problems, you know, we kind of maybe acted out in those ways, you know, drinking, fighting, doing all the crazy stuff, but both of us kind of figured it out at a young age of what we wanted to do, and you know that wasn't our path.
Stick your hand forward, kidney. Stick your hand forward.
He married up with his woman when he was only 18 or 19, and they kind of started their life from there.
Hey, okay. My sister called and was like, "We're branding. You should come out." So I did. I feel more at home in the country, and more comfortable in the country, and I was like, well, this is where I would rather be than living in town. And I don't know, it just clicked of meeting him, or you know, going a little farther than just knowing him as Tony's brother. He was kind of like a homebody like I am. Like, can just be in the country and find things to do and enjoy. He worked hard to rodeo, or he worked hard at whatever he did. So I think that was what I saw in him, is his work ethic.
Meeting up with my wife, my soulmate. I mean, she's the one that, you know, me and her have 3 kids, and when we first got together, you know, I was kind of a wild guy, you know. Recording here, Cade Ryan Racine's first Halloween.
We can take our pictures still.
Oh, we can take your picture still.
When I found out when I was pregnant with Cade, I think it was like winter time, and I remember we was trying to go to Great Falls. It was storming, and when I went to the hospital, he came up with me. We just kind of looked at each other, and he smiled, and then we drove around, and he called Irvin and told Irvin.
Don't matter what
For a while there, he would just be like, you know, maybe after work, just kind of just go get drunk and not come home, you know, just constantly. And finally, I just said, you know, if this is what you want, go. I said, because I'm not raising my kids in this kind of environment, you know. I said, I wasn't raised in it. I said, and I'm sure you wasn't. But I met him one night, and he was sorry or whatever, and I brought him to see the kids. And just from there, it was kind of, we was okay, you know. Like, he knew that I wasn't joking.
Thank you, guys.
Me being raised by my grandparents and my real dad not being there, but that's why I was like, geez, I gotta be there for my son, you know. Gotta step up and be there. Can't be messing around and all that stuff. So I did, you know. I took a big step there and come a long ways from then.
Putting them in.
we had our camp, you know, I just started asking him some questions, you know. He said, well, you know, Herb raised me, and all I know is Herb was like my dad. He said, I got my biological parents. So that's the same thing with me. So I just started asking him, how do you feel about your biological dad? You know, and he just kind of looked at me, gave me that look, and I thought, well, I went through the same thing. And I told him, if we keep hanging on to that stuff, you know, how do we get out of this, you know? We got to start understanding life. I told him, no, you're a parent. In a blink of an eye, you're going to be a grandparent. That's how fast life is. And we discussed a lot of things, you know, and I told him, but at the end of the day, if you want to grow, it's up to you.
Well, whenever they're ready, I am.
Eating right kind of on top of the hill.
Full?
Yeah. Got his head down eating.
Yeah. One with that little scruff right underneath him?
Yeah.
Okay. See him go down?
He's scared like elephants. What's it like?
Gotta be careful when they're like this, because that's their herd, so they're gonna protect. Okay, you guys stay in, kid. Buffalo can circle quick. That artery right there, it'll bleed out good.
Ayo spat, ayo na pina tusi. Ayo kimma tu kenana tusti koikaki. Ayo na tu tuanna kaki dewa kaki. Ak khanasu kapi. Awis tamatsi anuksi. Am skapi pikani. Kimma tusa. O kanno kan top kinamaka. Dina kisum. Ayo on ka ta pasaptuana chakumi tapiaki. Ak suka piet tusti koikaki. O kikinapi. Kamatan stawatsmana pios.
That was our way of life, the buffalo. It wasn't easy, but our people used the buffalo in every way they could. And there were some spiritual things along with it. There's times that the buffalo was gone. People were without buffalo and they needed food. Everybody was looking. And this one individual actually heard someone singing. He couldn't find where it was, but he actually come up on it. There was a buffalo stone that was actually singing, telling them where to go.
Okay, it's all yours. I don't know where these Canadians come from. I try to keep them on the other side. They wouldn't let me go over there a few years ago, Canada, because they had a woman that they didn't want me to have. Her name was Big Susie. But it's good that we are camped here. Any of our area is historical place. Any of our area is a sacred place. We don't have just certain places. Sometimes we say, oh, that's sacred, and it's all sacred. Our people used every part of our area to call on to their higher powers. As I've always said, if there's ever a time to pray, it's today. We need to pray. We're losing our people every week. And there's a reason for it. There's something wrong that we're doing. We don't know. We must be careful how we do things. Because our ways are sacred.
Our chief, when he talks about stories, I always learn from him about many things, about our culture, our history, our politics. There's a lot of issues that we just have to fight to survive, like we're in an area where the economy is not that great. We don't have a lot of jobs, for our people here, and we're always working to make a better life. We have our celebration in the summertime, the Indian Days. It's our time of year where we're celebrating our history and our culture. And again, it goes back to being a horse culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for joining us here at the 68th Annual North American Indian Days Indian Relay. As we watch Chazz Forgives from Montgomery Gunny makes a smooth transition.
There's a lot of good teams and good riders come out of Blackfeet. So you're there competing with the toughest. And then also if there's some other tribes that coming in that you want to show them too that, hey, you're here running against Blackfeet.
You're still gonna get nervous and get your adrenaline going, but you're not scared. I get ready, I know what can happen, but I don't think about that. I just do what I gotta do and win.
1 and 2 is Abrahamson. There's Dax Berrattler in second. Narcissus Rivas, the ultimate warrior, and Tyler Peasley is right there. Here they come for their first exchange. Let's watch him. Here's Chazz Racine. Who's it gonna be? Scotty Abraham shows him how it's done. Scotty Abrahamson is off and running. Here's Chazz Racine as we change leads. Here comes Chazz Racine running hard on Abrahamson. Tyler Peasley in third. Terrence Berrattler in fourth. And Narcissus Rivas, the ultimate warrior, in fifth. And Ames back in sixth. Here comes Montana and Washington. Who's it going to be? This is Chazz Racine from Carlson Relay. Scotty Abrahamson is on. Here is Chazz Racine. Here is Scotty Abrahamson. Chazz Racine and Montana and Washington are in and out. Off the stretch they come. Off the tippy turn. It is Chazz Racine from the Blackfeet Nation and Carlson Relay, your champion. And Abrahamson, Scotty Abrahamson coming in second. There they are in front of you. Carlson Relay and that talented rider of Chazz Racine. Folks, one big round of applause for Irvin and Chazz and all his teammates.
Fuck yeah, that was a hard race, man. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I see you battling out there, bro.
That was a horse race.
That was a horse
team race.
Yeah. It was, bro.
The horses stood and the riders rode. Fucking A's.
That was a good race, brother.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
God,
off, Chazz.
Seen him get on our last horse and, see him grab his gear coming for home and knew we had it wrapped is, it felt good. Felt like nothing else in the world to win your hometown one and, avenge your losses. At that moment, you find peace. I went in for a scan on 15th of July, so a couple days after Indian Days, and this time it came back strongly. It was, a lymph node was pretty big in size, the mass, so I had to go get that removed. Kind of got me down a little bit, but I just try to keep the same positive mindset that I always have. I'm not going to dwell on things. Whatever God's plan is, that's what it's going to be, and you can't run and hide from it. So what else am I going to do? And even if it was my last days, I'd sit here and make it miserable. I got my kids and all that to live for, so I just try to stay positive for them and keep going. I went to that thing over there in Canada with Shane and him. He set up for the holy smoke, and all of us, mom and dad, and everybody went and prayed for him and to get rid of that dust from the second round. When you go to holy smoke, you start in the evening and you go through the night, even into the next day. When you do that, there's no going to sleep or starting over. You sit up all the way till the next day and you pray, and then people will pray for you, and you smoke them pipes and powerful prayers through that. And then I had to sit holy for him. All that good prayer goes right into you.
They know there's something, And we start thinking about where did we come from? Who is the Creator? You wonder about that sometimes. It's hard.
He's got this friend. His name is Shane, Little Baron. I think he's come into Chazz's life for a reason, and he's guiding him in the right direction to find, that inner peace.
Just got stuff off my chest with her and let her know how I felt about a lot of things in life, and instead of just holding them on in. And I don't know, when I was a little guy, it was pretty hurtful when she left.
We talked about everything and how, he felt like he was abandoned. And maybe I shouldn't have let him go. Maybe I shouldn't have let him make his own decisions, or I shouldn't have left. But I did. I told him sorry, and
when we got it all out, I just told her I forgived her.
It had both your guys' favorite colors.
Finally coming to that point and just telling her. So she'd realize and kind of feel it in her heart.
We'll find another one, but let's just see. Oh, look how cool.
So pretty.
See, kids? When I told him sorry, and then he forgives me, but okay. I don't think I forgive myself. I see him a little boy that became a man. He's one of those that when he wins, you're happy for him because he's not arrogant. He's actually pretty humble. He loves horses. That's all he eats and breathes are horses. He made a life and a home for his family. And he was a wild child sometimes.
Yeah.
He taught me how to love somebody, I guess. Unconditional love.
Spirit Riders going to be box number 4. 2 Medicine is going to be box number 1. Spirit Riders 4, 2 Medicine 1. Warning Riders.
Alright, you see that yellow now?
That's going to be Carlson. He's going to look for a past exchange. 2 Medicines coming on in. Here comes River Cray Thunder. Carlson! Thunder's down to the point to the purse, looking for Pipestone Corner on a front end. There goes 2 Medicines. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise on the front side. It's going to be 2 Medicines.
Canadian Finals champions, $10,000 bonus. And in second place, Carlson, Chazz Racine, world champion. This is the same family, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when families work, stay together. This is unbelievable.
Canadian Finals champion. Oh, man.
Minnow ran like a freaking freight train.
Secret, man. I thought he was going to hook up with you, but Minerals is faster and you're lighter.
We ran away right here, in this turn right here.
Guy was catching you, though.
I know, I was looking back just to make sure.
Oh, he ran. Oh, Buckle said, this guy could run. Oh, he was there, that.
Here, you want to take a picture?
They presented us with buckles, and they had given mine to Irvin Lynn just to show him that he's still part of the team and that we are here for him and we support him and that he's going to be all right.
What is that, man? Fucking championship buckle, man. First and second. Just like any other sport, everybody loses. You just gotta take your losses, hold your head high and keep going. Cause there's always gonna be another relay right down the road. All you gotta do is get on the phone or whatever you do and enter up. Cause on the next one, you could win that one. Then you're champion. How are you guys? Where are you going?
Headed home.
Headed down, huh? Yeah. Heck yeah, buddy. Let's go check out that horse, huh?
Perfect.
And he's in shape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's even a little more lean and just a little more running him, you know? Yeah.
Have you ever been to Pendleton?
Oh yeah.
To the rodeo?
Pendleton Roundup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I won it last year.
Get out.
Yeah.
Where they do it around the racetrack.
Right there, Pendleton.
Nice.
Pendleton Roundup. Heck yeah. Yeah. True champion, just, you know, he keeps his composure, his focus, and always a good sportsman with everybody. Come on, let's go see Grandpa.
That's Grandma now?
No, I'm his caretaker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Lynn, want some jello? Want some jello?
Pretty hungry. That fry bread get you hungry?
No, I'm gonna feed them both.
They got one of their IPA beers.
What is that? Is that alcohol?
Yeah, try a glass.
Well, I'm alright. We're up from Jordan somewhere.
Yes, your dad's been talking about you.
Oh, I know. So I stopped by because I was down in this part of the woods.
I don't see my son for
Usually I'm over on Racine Creek. Yeah. Okay, there's all their pictures right here. Look at Kent. This is your other grandma right here. Grandma Shirley. Grandpa Shorty and Grandma Shirley. Rockin' old cowboy.
Yeah.
We spurring around. No more broncs for me no more. Just racehorses.
Have you guys been relaying?
I won Kalispell.
Oh, did you?
Kicked ass.
Was that on my birthday? Was that on my birthday? August 17th?
Yeah.
That was my birthday every year. Well, folks, the best relay champion. I love my son.
Cassie, you on the program?
No more.
Guys, take care. I gotta go out. Head out.
Come on, boy. That's my baby. Oldest kid.
Oh yeah, he just got hurt pretty bad, just a bad deal, drugs and alcohol, big fight broke out and he got ran over by a truck, his head got ran over, He was in a coma for quite a while, then he come out of it, and then he's he can still walk and stuff, but he's just not the same, But those guys prayed for him in an Indian sweat and got him, healed back up. Pretty powerful, all the people praying for him and whatnot.
We were in a relay race this one time. That was back in the 40s, early 50s. This one fellow says, I want to help you folks, So my brother told me, yeah, you can help us. You can help hold a horse. And they did. And when the first horse came around, it must have looked too dangerous. It took off. Those kinds of things, People want to do something because they see what's happening. I want to do it too. They don't realize what it takes to actually do something.